Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Many thanks for joining us. This is Biashara Tuesday, and we are so glad to have you on board this morning for a very interesting discussion, especially in the world of business. So over the past 2 years or 3 years or so, that's around 4 years, since the COVID pandemic struck the country or struck the world, we have seen shifts in how people conduct their businesses, in the models of education, and everyone wants to involve practical skills in the training where everyone can be employed or can be self-employed, and this has pushed so many changes in the country. Now, apart from the COVID-19 pandemic, we've also had the advancement of technology, and everywhere you walk around, you'll be hearing someone say AI, 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 and most people are now depending on AI, including even for therapy. You'll hear someone say that instead of talking to, let me talk to ChatGPT. That is something that is a very, it's a good thing, and I don't know if it's a bad thing also, but that's also another area where we are shifting as a world. So the pandemic that made people realize that, oh, we can even work from home, and also the shift in technology where everyone realizes that we can make life easy. And also, not just in the AI and the pandemic, we've also witnessed situations where the weather or the climate patterns are really different from what we are used to. We have the very high temperatures or very low temperatures, and this is just global warming. And if we look at all these things combined, it is pushing the world to a change that is inevitable. And today we are having a very interesting discussion where we'll be talking about the research innovations that are brought forth by Kenyatta University, and this is a combination of other 19 countries into four continents, where we are having. How well can we address this? How can we? What kind of research can we do to address these challenges? How can we prepare our youth, not just in one discipline? We're talking about in entrepreneurship, we're talking about business, we're talking about engineering, we're talking about education, we're talking about art, we're talking about content creation. It's cutting across all disciplines of learning, or all disciplines that you can think of when it comes to entrepreneurship. So that is what we are talking about this morning. That is what is lined up for you on the launch this morning, where we'll be looking at how we can handle these challenges in a respectful manner, or how we can bring everyone on board, not just in Kenya, but in 4 continents. That brings about over 19 countries on board, and the stakeholders in all these fields coming together, finding ways on how they can, help especially the young people come out with better ways of embracing technology, of solving the current crisis in climate, of handling their businesses and everything in between. So that is what we will be talking about this morning. Also this morning, what is lined up is the newspaper review. And just to give you a quick run through of what we are having this morning on the newspaper review, if we begin with let's begin with the Standard. The Standard is having a very big headline this morning and says burden of advisors. About 2 years ago, when the head of state was getting his administration, setting it rolling in the country, he said that he's going to reduce the burden of having so many advisors in the country. And over the years, we have seen him increasing advisors day in, day out. I don't know if that's an exaggeration, but we've seen an increment of advisors every now and then. So that is the headline that Standard is having this morning, burden of advisors. And we have several. We have Monica Juma, National Security Advisor to the President. We have Moses Kuria, Senior Advisor, Council of Economic Advisors to the President. We have David Ndii, Chairperson of the President, Council of Economic Advisors. We have Jaoko Oburu, Special Advisor, Economic Empowerment and Sustainable Livelihoods. We have Edward Kisiangani, Senior Advisor, Council of Economic Advisors to the President. And if you take a keen look at all these advisors, Most of them are advices related to economic empowerment. It's just in relation to the economy. I don't know if it's because the country is struggling to balance or to manage the current economic state, but we are having so many advisors in that field. Let's see if the next 2 years things are going to get better with all these advisors on board. So that is the biggest headline on the Standard. They're also having several other headlines, including 3 arrested in probe into Migori shoe accident, Israel cabinet backs Gaza conquest plan, and so many more. So that is on the Standard. And a similar story from the Standard and the Daily Nation is a similar story concerning the shoe throwing incident. And the Daily Nation says Ruto security beefed up after shoe hurling in Migori tour. So this is something that happened 2 days ago, that is on Sunday, on the first day of President Ruto's development tour to the not the Mount Kenya region, to the Nyanza region, that is Migori. And the question is, at first it was believed that this was a sign of anger and frustration by the public, because this is not the first time you're seeing shoe thrown in Migori County directed towards the president. We saw that in 2014 with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, and this time it is with the current president, that is President William Ruto, and the security details of the president is under scrutiny right now. But a section also said that that was not it was an unintentional move. The shoe throwing was unintentional, and it was just someone was pretending to be capturing the president using the shoe, and I'm really reminded that it's allegedly filming the president using the shoe, and then someone from the back akagonga and it flew towards the president. So that is another theory. But what is it with the security details of the president? That is what the Daily Nation is calling out this morning. And also something interesting, last week I mentioned that the finance bill 2025-2026 was tabled in Parliament last week, and scrutiny has already begun on the finance bill and the budget making process and the budget all in one. And the Daily Nation is having a little bit of scrutiny of that budget, and is saying Ruto's office gets 2.3 billion for facelift. So this is something that it's not so easy to talk about, but Kenyan taxpayers will pay billions of shillings to upgrade President William Ruto's office. Station begins on July 1st, 2025, making it one of only few state agencies to enjoy increased cash allocations. So that is just something that we should be raising our eyebrows on. I don't know if we should be complaining or we should be happy about. But also another good thing that we are looking at, apart from that, the education, military, aviation, and police among the biggest winners in the 4.2 trillion budget for the financial year starting June. So the education sector will be receiving about 21 billion. That is a good sign, because we're going to have more teachers being employed, more promotions in the country. So that is a good thing. So that is the president's office will be receiving 447. Now the amount the 47 county government will receive from the executive is 447 billion Kenyan shillings. And we've had so many complaints, especially from the county governments. That is a quarrel. Is it a quarrel, a beef between the members of parliament and the governors? It's a wrangle of who should be managing the National Government Constituency Development Fund, that is NGDF. It's a conversation that we're going to give an update on that also on the news update that we are going to have. The Star is quite political this morning, because it's talking about besiege leader. Will Wipers Kalonzo accept to play second fiddle to Matiang'i? Remember, Matiang'i is being fronted as the potential president, often referred to as a Mr. Fix-It. We've had situations where in the previous regime, we are aware that he's the one responsible for sending Miguna out of the country. So in one way or another, we can call him Mr. Fix-It. That's what the Star calls him this morning. So will Kalonzo Musyoka play second in this battle again? Will he be under Matiang'i, or who is going to be fronted? Because as we speak, there is this opposition affiliated coalition that is formed in the country that is involving former deputy president, should I call him impeached, or former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. We have Martha Karua, we have Eugene Wamalwa, we have Fred Matiang'i, we have Kalonzo Musyoka, we have Justin Muturi, we have all these leaders coming up together, teaming up together with a main mission of ousting or of removing President William Ruto from office, from State House, that is 2027. So will Kalonzo Musyoka stay second in this race? And also as that unfolds, we're also seeing a shift in terms of the government having a hold of the Mount Kenya region, and Kindiki's popularity in the region is seemingly deteriorating, considering the push by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. So is this a reason why the president is moving towards other regions in the country, setting foot in other regions in the country, including the Nyanza region and other regions, including the Western region? And over the weekend, we also witnessed the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Musalia Mudavadi, saying that the Mount Kenya region should be rallying behind President William Ruto. If not, they risk losing the second in command position in the country. So is this something that is really something we'll also be looking at in the newspaper, three newspapers today, that is the Star, the Daily Nation, and the Standard. So make sure you stay tuned for that on this show throughout these 2 hours, 3 hours or so. And before we get into that discussion and the news, let's get to the roads and take a look at what is happening in the situation. Yes.
So my name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights. possessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Naam, ungana nami Malkia wa Taarab katika mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Yaani tunapozungumzia mitindo ya kipwani basi unaona napigwa na mawimbi makali sana ya baharini kutoka katika ufuo wa hoteli moja inayofahamika kama North Coast Beach Hotel, ambao ndio wadhamini wa kipindi hiki cha mitindo ya kipwani. Penzi mtazamaji, kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hutakosa kupata mapishi ya vyakula vya kipwani. Yaani hapa tunazungumzia vyakula vilivyokolezwa na kukorombezwa. Iliki, karafuu, abdalasini, samaki wa baharini, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kusukwa kwa kutumia nazi. Bila kusahau mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja, mazungumzo ya kusisimua na wataalam tofauti, waandishi wa vitabu waliobobea, watunzi wa kuhani mashairi. Bila kusahau mpenzi mtazamaji, taratibu zetu za taarabu na chakacha. Yaani pale ni pale ambapo viuno vya wanawake vinazungushwa kisawasawa kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya KUTV mitindo ya kipwani. Ukiwa nami nahodha wako Waridi Tamu. Usiyakose matamu jamani.
All right, now this is on the roads. What is happening on the roads? You can share with us from where you are. How is the road situation? And this you can share with us. We are live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. That is where you can send us your feedback, and also on on X at KUTV_Kenya. You can also share with us what is happening where you are. Are you on traffic or is it moving? Now let's take a look at Google. Mr. Google is telling us this morning that those people using Kiambu Road heading to town all the way to the Muthaiga interchange, your road is quite packed. It's not moving as normal. And also those using Thika Road as usual from TRM heading to town all the way to Muthaiga, your road is also not looking okay. And also another concern that we are having this morning is those using Langata Road going to town. Those are the major tributaries that are having or that are experiencing snarl-ups this morning heading to town. It is 7:49, so we hope as the day goes by things are going to get better. Those are just the major roads leading to town that are having traffic, and I guess it's because of the downpours that we had yesterday. And now talking about the downpours that we had yesterday, let's take a look at what the weatherman is telling us this morning. I'm always telling you every day that in this show that the Kenya Met Department might be the only serious department in this country. We're always giving us accurate information based on what is happening. And this morning they're telling us that this is the weekly weather outlook that is from 6th to the 12th of May 2025, and it's specifically in Kenya. We are expecting the rainfall outlook. Rainfall is expected over several parts of the country. Isolated heavy rainfall may occur in central highlands, Lake Victoria Basin, Rift Valley, Coast, Western and Northeastern Kenya. So those are areas expecting rainfall. And temperature outlook, daytime maximum temperatures expected to be, this is greater than 30 degrees Celsius in much of the coast, northeastern and northwestern Kenya. Nighttime temperatures, that is the minimum temperatures, that is less than 10 degrees Celsius, is expected in some parts of central highlands, central Rift Valley, and areas near Mount Kilimanjaro. So that is just what the weatherman is telling us. And if the daily forecast, if you want to be accurate, to know whether you're supposed to be carrying that umbrella, you're supposed to be wearing that gumboot, or you're supposed to be carrying your trench coat. You can visit their page, that is at Kenya Meteorological Department, Kenya, that is Kenya Met. You can also view that and see the specifications of the area you're at. That is on the updates on the weather situation in the country as per the Kenya Meteorological Department. And now at this point, we're going to take a look at the news updates on everything that was happening or has been happening in the country that concern you as a Kenyan citizen. Now, this is what has been happening in the country, especially in the world of politics. President William Ruto has criticized the newly formed opposition coalition, accusing his political rivals of engaging in divisive politics driven by desperation. Speaking during the second day of his development tour in Migori County, the head of state reaffirmed his administration's commitment to fostering unity and delivering equitable development across all regions. As reported by political affairs correspondent Blue Smile Hassan, allies of the broad-based government praised the president for his focus on inclusive progress, highlighting ongoing initiatives that benefit the entire nation.
President Ruto used the second day of his development tour in Migori to take political jabs at his opponents. Ruto dismissing the new opposition alliance led by Rigathi Gachagua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Matiang'i and Martha Karua, calling them desperate and inciters of divisive politics.
Mimi nataka niulize wale watu wa must go. Mimi nataka niwaambie, kabla mujasema Ruto must go, pangeni sera ya wananchi. Wananchi wanataka kujua, sisi tumepanga kutengeneza barabara, nyinyi mmepanga nini? Sisi tunaunganisha stima kwa Wakenya, mpango yenu ni gani? Sisi tuko na affordable housing na markets tunajenga, mpango yenu ni gani? Ngojeni, wacha kutuletea mambo ya siasa duni ya ukabila. Ati nyinyi mnaungana kwa sababu ya mambo ya chuki na mambo ya ukabila, ati na mambo ya migawanyiko. Watu wa Rongo, mimi nataka niwaulize, saa hizi ni wakati wa siasa ama ni wakati wa maendeleo? Saa hizi ni wakati wa siasa ama maendeleo? Si ni wakati wa maendeleo? Na nyinyi ikifika wakati wa uchaguzi, nyinyi ndio mtaamua. Si mtajua ni nani amefanya nini? Sasa mimi nataka niwaambie hawa jamaa, wacheni kimbelembele, wacheni fitina na chuki, wacheni mambo ya ukabila, wacha tujenge Kenya. Hawa wananchi wako na akili, wataamua nani yako na mpango ya kujenga Kenya, nani yako na mpango ya ukabila.
The president's remarks were supported by allies of the broad-based government, who said that Ruto's opponents are insignificant. The allies also praised the president for ensuring fair distribution of development in the Nyanza region, which according to them had been neglected by previous national governments.
Mtukufu Rais, juzi niliona huko Nairobi mwanamke mmoja na wanawake watano wamepangana, wanasema wanataka kukutoa. Na moja hao wanawake aliletwa bunge kwa dakika 2, tulinyorosha tukarudisha nyumbani. Sasa mimi nakutuma kwao, waambie wakuje wang'ang'ane na mimi kwa kiti ya women rep ya rais imeenda.
Ni dalili ya kwamba wamekukaribisha. Wangapi wanasema ya kwamba tutembee na Rais William Ruto mpaka dakika ya mwisho? Mpaka dakika ya mwisho. Huyu Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto ni rafiki yetu wa kweli. Kuna marafiki wengine wa bandia, lakini huyu Ruto ni rafiki yetu wa kweli.
Tumesema kwamba kama watu wa Migori na kama watu wa Nyanza, we have gotten road deals in other people. We supported one government for 5 years. They never gave us anything. You have given us everything. When we did not support you, now we will support you and stand with you as a people.
Wacha niwaambie kitu kimoja. Wakati Mheshimiwa Rais alichukua sword, ile kisu, siku ile aliapishwa kama rais wa Kenya, alipewa sword, kisu ya kufanya vitu viwili. Ya kwanza ni kulinda nchi. Ya pili ni kugawanya rasilimali ya Kenya, kila sehemu ipate mali yake.
President Ruto also took the opportunity to support the broad-based government, commending both his and Raila Odinga's efforts to unite the country and ensure that all regions of Kenya benefit equally in development.
Nyanza hoye! Kenya hoye! Munasema tuendelee na maendeleo. Munasema tuendelee na maendeleo. Ukabila tupunguze. Ukabila tukomeshe. Chuki tuwache. Migawanyiko tuwache. Munasema tuungane. Tunaungana kwa sababu Waswahili wanasema umoja ni nguvu. Kutengana ni udhaifu. Sisi kwa pamoja tunataka tushirikiane tupeleke taifa letu la Kenya mbele.
President Ruto on his second day
this is how it will be.
in Rongo,
this is where the ships will be handled. This is administration block,
among
and this is where we'll be undertaking some repairs and reefer containers which will be put there. This is
Now, a newly surfaced video shed light on much discussed shoe-throwing incident involving the president in Migori. Contrary to earlier reports suggesting that it was an attack, the video revealed it was an unintentional accident. The footage shows a member of the crowd picking up a shoe and humorously pretending to record the president as though it was a smartphone. However, someone standing behind them struck the shoe, propelling it forward. Here's the details.
To many observers, the shoe that flew and hit President Ruto on the hand during his Sunday address to residents of Kehancha in Migori appeared to be a targeted attack. Many opposition figures claimed that the shoe symbolized public anger toward the president. However, these claims lack a factual backing. A new video clip recorded just seconds before the incident has surfaced, shedding light on what truly occurred. According to the video, a man lifted his shoe, mimically recording the president's speech, similar to how people use smartphones. Another person joined in, then holding the same shoe, both pretending to film the speech. And then someone from behind them, perhaps annoyed that his view of the president was blocked, hit the shoe, which accidentally flew towards the president. The incident has sparked reactions from various leaders led by the government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura and Dennis Itumbi, the head of special projects in the office of the president and digital economy, who even offered to buy the man a smartphone to replace the shoe he had turned into a camera. However, this is not the first time such an event has occurred. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta was also targeted with shoes in Migori in 2020, and even internationally, former US President George Bush once had a shoe thrown at him during a public event. Blue Ismail Hassan, KUT.
Now, the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, Geoffrey Ruku, has reiterated his dedication to improving service delivery structures with particular attention to marginalized areas. Speaking during an event in Embu County, CS Ruku emphasized the significance of citizen participation and transparent governance as cornerstones of the ongoing national initiative. He highlighted the government's efforts to ensure equitable resource distribution and promote inclusive development across all regions.
During a visit to Kanywambura, Embu County, Cabinet Secretary for Public Service Geoffrey Ruku has reiterated his commitment to enhancing public service delivery nationwide, particularly in marginalized regions.
Tuko na jukumu katika taifa letu ya Kenya kuhakikisha ya kwamba all the public service deliveries are done in the most efficient manner. And that's why also we are here to listen to the people of this constituency, that all the government services are offered in the most efficient way.
Ruku underscored that these engagements are integral to the implementation of Article 232 of the Constitution of Kenya, which outlines the core values of public service, including responsiveness, accountability, equity and citizen participation.
Kuhakikisha ya kwamba watoto wa Kenya pahali popote wako wanasoma katika mashule yetu yote ya Kenya. Wale wafanyikazi wale ambao they are not putting effort to ensure the services offered by government are efficient, are effective. Na hakuna pesa mingi inatumika mahali ambapo hapaswi kutumika pesa. Mimi kama waziri wa public service nitakondoa macho sawa sawa.
Addressing concerns about disaster preparedness and food security, Ruku assured that the government is taking proactive steps to mitigate the effects of drought, flash floods and food shortages, especially in arid and semi-arid regions.
No Kenyan, whether in Mandera or in Ramu, in Imbere, in Galiza, in Siaya, in every corner of the boundaries of the Republic of Kenya, will lose life because of anger. Na tutatembea kupitia idara tofauti ya serikali. Tukipata ripoti mahali usaidizi unatakikana, tunahakikisha kwamba tumefika pale.
The CS reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to building a responsive and inclusive public service that delivers tangible results for all Kenyans. Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Now back here at home, residents of Ruiru have expressed strong support for efforts to enshrine the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, that is NGCDF, into law. Speaking during a public participation event hosted by Area Member of Parliament Simon Kingara, the residents lauded the fund's critical role in grassroots development and its positive impact on education for children from disadvantaged backgrounds. The residents cautioned against dismantling the fund, a proposal backed by some politicians who argue for its transfer to county government supervision. They argued that such a move would harm rural development initiatives and weaken the fund's ability to address community needs effectively, describing the NGCDF as the sole government program with a tangible and direct influence on rural communities. The residents emphasized its importance in driving local progress and ensuring equitable access to education and infrastructure.
Kufanya kwa upendo wako si kuja kuzingiziwa. Haya, naarifiwa kuwa
vile nimewasikia wengi wanataka, hata mimi kuwa mbunge wa eneo hili ninataka NGCDF endelee, kwa sababu maendeleo mengi yale yamefanyika katika eneo hili yametokana na NGCDF. Kama hii ofisi imejengwa na NGCDF, hii koti imejengwa na hiyo pesa. Ukienda pale Githurai kuna shule mpya, Mamutuya Primary, Manguo Primary 100% CDF, kuna Technical Institute ya CDF. Ukienda Githurai roundabout hapa huko police station, hata kuna watu wengi, hiyo police station imejengwa 100% na CDF. Ukienda hapa Katongora hakukuwa na police station, ilikuwa post, imepanuliwa na imekuwa police station, ni 100% CDF. Ukienda huko chini kuna ofisi zimejengwa hapo na zote zimejengwa na pesa ya NGCDF.
Nashukuru sana kwa hii msaada tunapewa CDF, imetufanya tumeendelea, watoto wetu wamesoma. Nashukuru sana, mimi kwa upande wangu nashukuru zaidi, sababu hata mapato yetu kazini ni kidogo na uchumi uko juu. Kama sio CDF watoto wetu hawangesoma. Nashukuru sana.
NGCDF ni jambo ambalo lilikuja kusaidia mwananchi mwenye anaishi maisha ya chini kama mimi na wewe mwenzangu.
Now still on the NGCDF, you're all aware of one of us here in Rise Today, that is Ojwang Mariam. He's a very big, should I say, supporter or champion of the NGCDF program. He says that the education or this fund should be directed to ensuring that everyone in the country has access to free education, both primary, secondary, and tertiary education. I don't know if you think of the same, because there's a section of those who are saying it is good for improving, helping the needy students in the country. But Ojwang argues that this is their money. Why shouldn't it be given to the Ministry of Education to ensure that everyone has access to education, without going into members of parliament's houses and those barazas waking up very early in the morning to queue in long lines only to get 10,000 Kenyan shillings that can be sent directly to schools to ensure free education. That is just his take. Now moving on, former Cabinet Secretary for Gender and Culture Aisha Jumwa has urged both county and national governments to increase funding for the preservation and promotion of culture across Kenya. Speaking at the second annual Kikwetu Cultural Festival held in Malindi, Kilifi County, Jomo highlighted the region's rich cultural heritage, which remains underfunded despite its potential as a powerful economic driver. She emphasized that investing in culture not only preserves identity but also creates jobs and attracts tourism. Kilifi County Assembly Speaker Teddy Mwambire and Festival Chairperson Azani Ngumbao also called for greater support to nurture cultural initiatives and safeguard traditions for future generations.
Kwa hivyo mimi nataka serikali ya kaunti pia ijizatiti kuona ya kwamba katika bajeti zao wanaweka kitita katika mpangilio mzima wa masuala ya culture na tamaduni zetu kama watu wa Kilifi, so that we can showcase Kilifi, we can market Kilifi and brand Kilifi. Through culture, Kilifi tunaweza kufanya kuwa na utajiri mkubwa sana. Kwa sababu kuna historical sites saizi ambazo ziko katika World Heritage Sites.
Serikali gatuzi ziko na vitengo maalum ambao pia vinawekewa fedha ya kuweza kuendeleza masuala ya tamaduni na turathi za kitaifa ambao zinastahili kuangaliziwa kwa ukaribu zaidi. Lakini utapata kwamba kila ukijaribu kuangalia hapa na pale inakuwa iko kwa makaratasi, lakini kwa vitendo hakuna chochote ambacho kinapatikana. Kama walimu sahi wakiambiwa wafundishe, wale ambao wanaambiwa wako katika hizo shule zile zinaitwa junior secondary school ama hata hii CBC, utapata kwamba kuna masomo mengi ambao wanaambiwa wafundishe, lakini wanashindwa wataanza wapi.
Kuzikuza tamaduni zetu kama jamii. Iwa wewe ni mkazi wa Kilifi, ni Mpokomo, ni Mgiriama, ni Mkikuyu, ni Mkisii, ili mradi unaishi Kilifi, basi tunakuleta pamoja katika mjumuiko wa kusherehekea tamaduni zetu kikwetu.
Watu wajue mila zao na tamaduni zao ambazo zimeanza kupotea. Ukiangalia hivi tamaduni nyingi zimeanza kupotezwa na miji mikuu, baada kwamba watu wanatoka katika vile vijiji vyao na kuja katika miji mikuu. Watu wanapoteza tamaduni zile za kabila zao na asili za kabila zao. Kwa mfano ukiangalia mimi ni Mbajuni na hivi sasa siongei tena Kibajuni, ni kama kwamba sikijui tena.
When we're talking about culture, it's always, most people think it's about the language or the way people do their stuff in terms of, in what they say, chic. I don't know how it is in your language. It's about tradition. And one thing I realize is that most people are really moving away from the culture because they think it is suffering. Take an example, someone saying that I can't take the brown ugali. Someone saying that I can't take that because growing up that's what I used to take because we didn't have food. So seeing that in a restaurant and it's being sold for a very huge amount of money, that person thinks that, no, I'm not going to take this because it reminds me of my past when we were suffering at home. I don't know how it is for you and how culture means to you, because for the younger generation, they like mentors to mentor them into embracing their culture. But for the older generation, they don't want their culture because to them it looks like it's suffering. Sleeping on mats. Why can I sleep on mats when I can sleep on a soft mattress? That's just something that is creating, should I say, confusion when it comes to culture. Now moving on, a somber atmosphere enveloped Kabosare, Transmara, South Narok County during the funeral of Joseph Kipketer Rono, one of the victims killed by police officers in last Monday's clash between Angata Barakoi villagers and law enforcement. The conflict arose as survivors were dispatched to assess how the area could be separated. Rono, a father of 6, was a dedicated teacher who was set to graduate from Mount Kenya University with a Bachelor of Education in August. During the burial, Emura Dikir, Member of Parliament, Johanna Ngeno, called on the government to expedite investigations to ensure justice for the victims of the Angata tragedy. Ngeno expressed concern that some of the police officers involved were not originally stationed in the area, suggesting that their deployment was deliberate. He further demanded that the authorities identify the five vehicles used during the operation, asserting that those responsible for the deaths must be held accountable.
Huyu alikuwa na half jacket. Alikuwa nani? Alikuwa askari ya nani? Muliwahi ona yeye hapa? Hawa ni mamluki ambayo walikuwa haya kuja kuua watu hapa. Hata magari yenye ilikuwa hapa. Kuna magari yenye hatujawahi ona Kenya hii. And it's unfortunate hizo magari zilichomwa. We would have wished tujue hizi number plates ya hizo gari ni registered under who.
Niko na watoto 6 na nimewachwa na mzee yangu. Aliwawa, alikuwa nyumbani. Watoto wanataka aende shule, sijui nani atanisomesea watoto. Sasa ninataka mnisaidie. Msaidie watoto wa kwangu na ya bibi ya kwanza. Mtanisaidia tu mnipe kazi.
Watoto sasa hawaendi shule. Sababu wale watu walivu, watu 3 walikuja kupika watu risasi, alisababisha shule kufungwa. Na sisi tunataka hiyo watu wakamatwe na astakiwe. Kwa hivyo hii ni kilio machungu ambayo tutafurahia.
Now, moving on, in a bid to nurture youth talents, the government, in collaboration with the International Youth Fellowship, IYF, has continued to engage students in programs aimed at empowering them in mindset transformation and leadership development. Speaking during a youth empowerment event, Dr. Emily Maina, Director of Youth Social Development at the State Department for Youth Affairs, emphasized the importance of equipping young people with relevant skills. She noted that enhancing these skills is critical for fostering future development and enabling youth to thrive in an increasingly fast-paced world.
In a bid to nurture youth talent, the government, through the International Youth Fellowship, has continued to gather students in a move to empower them in mindset transformation and leadership development. According to Director of Youth Social Development at the State Department for Youth Affairs, Dr. Emily Maina, there is every need to improve youth skills for the future developments and also to allow them survive in the fast-moving world.
We are very happy with this organization because it is giving youth empowerment to the young ones. And these young people, the minute they get the training and the skills, they are able to get jobs. And this is what we are saying is very important for our government because we are working together.
Dr. Emily, who was representing the Principal Secretary, State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, Fikirini Jacobs, praised the government for appointing the youngest PS to head the Youth Department, describing it as a success story that will inspire youth to pursue their dreams and visions. On the same note, Dr. Maina emphasized the ministry's ongoing support for youth-focused initiatives such as those championed by IYF, praising the IYF's role in changing the mindset of young people. The event's main mission was to nurture a generation of resilient and purpose-driven youths, featuring showcasing of different specialties acquired through the coursework.
This is a testament of the mindset that our young people have. On behalf of the Principal Secretary, I am here to be with you.
The move has now been termed as a game changer for the youths who will acquire leadership skills that will help them to be part of decision making and also to cultivate their inner strength through such programs. Edward Nyamo, KUTV. In a bid to nurture youth talent, the government, through the International Youth Fellowship,
Now, everyone in the country is really concerned about youth empowerment and developing their mindset, both in leadership and entrepreneurship. And that is something that we are also concerned about this morning. We are going to be having a conversation on how we can help the youths, cutting across all age groups. That is the youths, those who are above the youth bracket, and everyone who is really interested in making their lives better in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of balancing their themselves at the workplace, their mental well-being, their physical well-being. That is a conversation that we are having this morning, and our guests are already here in studio. We'll be telling you about them shortly. But before we get into that interesting conversation, I also mentioned that we'll also be having newspaper review. And talking about everything that is happening or shaping your world, especially in politics. That is later on after we have a discussion on how we can help the youths manage the current global challenges, including climate change, the advancement of technology, and all these things in the workplace. So before we get into that discussion, we're going to take a very short break, and we will be back with the discussion.
are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mokwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia.
They find it quite strange talking to you.
We should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwele.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
Folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepopa si vuguvugu. Pepopa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses and we wait until we get a disease and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are
hereditary factors. That means it could be genetic. So that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Where we ask the coolest questions in science. Let's go! Is yogurt really just rotten milk? Why do humans need sharks to survive? How did a 12-year-old boy from Africa invent modern vanilla farming? How do you deliver medicine to a chimpanzee? Can poop be useful? How can you save the planet by reducing air pollution? To help us answer these questions, we are inviting some wonderful guests from the world of science. They will enlighten you, make you hungry for knowledge, oxygenate your brain, and make your ideas flow. This is Engine Season 3. Let's go!
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila woga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Now, welcome back. This is a very interesting discussion that I told you we are going to be having, and Daktari is here with us in studio for a discussion. It is the phase 4. We're just having a chit-chat with Daktari right now, and he's telling us that there are those who have gone through the program, and now we are on the phase 4 of the program. And Daktari, karibu sana on the broadcast this morning.
Thank you very much. Let me also thank KUTV for allowing me to be present this morning to have this brief discussion to talk about the Global Entrepreneurship Training Management, which is in phase 4.
Thank you so much. Being part of the different phases of GETM4 program.
Yes.
How would you describe this program to someone who is hearing it for the first time?
Yes, I can do that very well. First of all, let me start by mentioning the purpose. What is the objective of this program? It is about how entrepreneurs can deal with interruptions. The entrepreneurs, the higher education institutions, the industry, how would they deal with interruptions? The interruptions come in different ways, and one major one which we had seen, which is really a key factor in this project, is the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the project again, is interesting for anybody who may want to know because of the structure. It is transgeneration, which means it brings senior researchers and also the junior or young researchers. Then it is transgender. So the idea of gender equality is very pertinent in this program. It is across the globe, and actually it is involving 4 continents. We have Africa, which is represented by Kenyatta University and the University of Nairobi. Then we have Asia, we have America, the South America, and then we have Europe. That makes 4 continents that are involved in it. There are 9 countries that are involved in it and 17 universities. So it is quite a big thing, and it is covering a large spectrum of the higher education sector.
So if I get this right, it is covering all disciplines, including those in engineering, all those people, bringing them together for a sole purpose of managing disruptions in the current world.
Very well. It is, in addition to being transgender, transgeneration, it is also multidisciplinary. The project is multidisciplinary, and we have all those people who are in the education, the higher education, they are represented in the project. So it does not matter whether you are in education, you are in business, no, they are all included. And of course, we have 2 industry partners which help us in the practical aspect of it. Yes.
The practical aspect of it, that's a very good point you've brought forth, because if someone hears about GETM4,
yes,
it is a strange word. Now, if I want to be part of the program, how do I get to be part of the program, and what are the modes of maybe training that are in place that maybe I can embrace when coming into the board, on board on this training?
The cornerstone of the project is in higher education. The transformation, the innovations that can be in higher education. The entry point for anybody who may be interested is being a partner in one of the universities. And for now, as I have mentioned, the universities are 17 of them. So a researcher, senior or young researcher, you already have a license to join, so long as your university is a partner. Or you could be a student and your home university is not a partner, but the university where you are studying is a partner. Therefore, you have a license to join. Yeah, so that is how people come in.
So it's both for undergraduate, postgraduate, everyone can be included on board?
No, so far we don't have undergraduates. We have, since this is research based, we have only those who are already researchers, and that begins from PhD. Yes.
Now the program is skill-based training. How do you get to identify skills and deciding that this is fit to be part of the program?
It is a continuation. There has been the 3rd phase of it, and so this is a continuation, and it is based on work packages, and each work package has a requirement. So within those work packages, anyone can join and participate. So that is where the skills will be required.
There's something that I'm missing out on this.
Yes.
It is a continuation, right?
Yes.
So if someone is beginning it, if someone is a new person coming on board, how do they get at par with the rest who have already begun it and are now transitioning to the 4th phase?
Those who are in the 3rd phase are the people who created the 4th phase. As Kenyatta University, we joined them in the 4th phase, because of the connection, the partnership which we had with a lead investigator. There's a program which we did with the lead investigator, which was financed by the British Council, and they were here at one point in time. So that is how the new people are getting in. The idea that made us come in is that they initially, without us, without Kenya, there was no Africa. And that now was missing the point of the global inclusion. And so we entered because of that connection, the network that we had made, and because we were now like outsiders, so they wanted to expand the
and
coverage.
bring Africa on board.
Yes.
Okay, now if just to mention a few examples, would you mention a few type of researchers that are under the program?
Largely, they are innovative researchers. That is again the baseline there. We are saying that we need to do things differently. And how do you do things differently, or create some change between how things had been done before and how they are being done now? It is by being innovative. And so any research that is based on innovation is welcome in that program. I'll give you a very quick example which we have in Kenyatta University. We have what we have dubbed as KUYES. KUYES stands for Kenyatta University Youth Enterprise Study. Kenyatta University Youth Enterprise Study. This is an innovation-based study, which is going on. Actually, it is running parallel to this one. It's like an offshoot of the GETMA 4. And so they are running parallel, and we are going to complete almost at the same time. And this is Kenyatta University Vice Chancellor grant-funded study, which is going on. And there are several other studies that are going on across the globe. At the end of all this, we expect to have several publications, the book chapters, paper presentations, articles to be put in journals. And all this can only come from researchers. Yes.
Now, how do you get to involve those people from the marginalized area? I mean, the vision of the whole program, because in Kenya, you said it's currently at Kenyatta University, but there are other
University of Nairobi.
Yeah, and the University of Nairobi. So how do you get to involve all these marginalized researchers across the country? How do they get on board?
We are at different levels. The disseminations, we have disseminations which are continuing. Then we'll have the final disseminations. And this is an inclusive program, so it is not discriminating. It's not saying that this is marginalized, this is not marginalized. What is critical is that there is information reaching everyone. And because we are carrying out research within and without the country, we have to get involved with people. Don't be surprised if next time when we come here, we are not presenting, but we are collecting data from you. So that will already be putting you on the map of GETMA 4. Yes.
I understand that you've mentioned earlier that the collaboration is between 4 continents.
Yes.
And about 17 countries.
17 universities.
Yes, 17 universities.
9
involved.
countries.
Now, how do you get to collaborate and come to a common goal, having all these contingents coming together? How hard or easy is it for Kenyatta University?
To get
in collaboration with all these people on board, because it's different continents coming together, different cultures, diverse cultures, different beliefs. They have different priorities when it comes to their research projects. How do you come to the common goal?
That is the idea, multicultural dimensions. Culture is a key issue in research because others will at some point say we cannot join. Others are readily available to join. But one thing that we have learned, this is going to be my 4th sandpit now, the one that we're going for in Warsaw. That will be the 4th sandpit that we are attending. And there is a space. There is space that is created just for culture. You see that? Culture, exposition to different cultures. There are a lot of excursions that are put there so that you can see also the historical background of different countries, so that you can appreciate what education, particularly the higher education, is actually doing to the people. And the collaboration is meant to bring people together so that we learn what you do, you learn what I do, and then we see how we can get the mix and get the best out of that. That is what brings out what I was saying, doing things differently. Now, if you have the Korean culture, you have the Chilean culture, you have the Kenyan culture, and you bring them together. By the way, even this time when we are going already, there is a slot. We have to start somewhere. So knowing people's food is one way. Knowing people's music is one way of bringing people together, understanding their language. You'll get it in the food they take, you'll get it in their music, you'll get it in their dances, you see that kind of a thing. So we have slots for that, where we now specifically say, we want to see. You see that? We want to see how it is done in Korea, we want to see how it is done in Poland, Estonia, and the rest of it. Yes, so that cross-culture actually is enriching the project itself.
From the time you began being part of this project to now,
yes.
how's the experience been like?
Wonderful, wonderful. We pick it from the personal experience first. Again, I'll just continue to dwell on how things are done differently. And I have learned a lot. I have learned a lot from the academic part of it, from personal part of it, and even in the industry linkages. So I have rich experience that I have gathered over the time that I've been visiting the sandpits.
Personally, did you have like a project you were doing?
With?
In the project, did you have like a research you were doing?
Oh, I am part of the work packages. You see that? The researches that are being done, the data that is being collected, they are based on the work packages. And I'm very keen on the higher education, innovation. That is where we have research, the papers generated from research, the presentation of it. Yes. And we present our own. We present also our own researches in the workshops and the seminars that we have. So yes, I have.
I'm very keen on like a specific project. The other day, I was attending the biochemical. They had an engagement with farmers, and they were coming up with this type of bananas that can withstand the changing global temperatures. It is nutritious, and it's a project that I can single out that this is a research project that I like.
Yes.
So far from your experience, is there a project that you see that this one had a really great impact, maybe on the youths in terms of the entrepreneurship, or in other fields, maybe in entertainment, in skills development of the people involved, or to the target audience that the research had?
In July last year, we were doing data collection from here. We collect data from the industry. And when we say industry, the universities are part of the industry, but then we get to the manufacturers. So we are collecting data, and at the end, when the analysis is done, that is when we can now say we did this and this was the outcome of that particular research project. Yes.
So far it's on the data collection phase.
That is where we are at the moment.
Okay, very interesting. Now, still on the training, it mentions of a respectful impact to the society. How would you describe respectful impact?
We have mentioned something about culture. We have mentioned something about culture, and the issue here is acceptability. Are you ready to move from where you are to the next point? And how do you do it? That is how the respectful translation comes in. That if I am to change you, I don't have to force you to change, but I have to influence you to change. Yes.
You have to be intrinsically motivated to change.
Yes, that's. I want you to appreciate that. I want you to appreciate that this change was necessary, and possibly it has delayed to come. Yes, but you don't force somebody that you must do A, B, C, D, which actually does not add value to another person.
So far, how is the local government institutions or the government in general, how are they taking such initiatives?
Before we get into all of these things that we're doing, we seek permission. We seek permission. Of course, the starting point is the university itself, which is an arm of the government, and they appreciate it. The government appreciates new things, innovations, and universities are key in creating change. Universities and the faculties are agents of change. So a change comes, and you need to appreciate the change, and they do. That's why they give us permission to be away.
It's a global talent entrepreneurship management. Throughout your experience, all this through the phases that you've been through, what are the major challenges that the training program has been facing?
Challenges, again, there are many. There are many, but the most important change, I would say, is the creation of the idea. Do you have the idea? And the fact that you are now in a position to create an idea, that is the starting point. And that is where we possibly are not doing very well, because we are not able to create the idea when it is necessary. And possibly when you create the idea, the implementation of the idea becomes again another challenge. And then, because we are talking about entrepreneurship, there are several, the management itself, that's where the training is coming in. The training is a big thing. So you are doing so many things at the same time, looking for even finances to do this, is it? Yes, so challenges are many.
So it deals with the training, talent training and management.
Yes.
There is a greater challenge, especially among youths and those people in the workplaces, of a possible takeover by the digital or the upcoming technology. So how is the program planning to help manage this challenge of the fear of AI is going to take up my job, or how do you skill up individuals involved in the project or the audience of the research, the target audience of the research, enabling them understand that maybe the technology is a good thing and is not necessarily meant to take over your job?
Those who think in that way have not appreciated change. They have not seen the positive side of innovation. In the Western world, AI is already in full use, and it is being trained. The students are being trained. They are taken through on the positive use. You know, we have the positive and the negative use of things. They are being taken through the positive use of AI. And sometimes we take too long to embrace changes. And then by the time you are realizing, oh, we should be in this phase, something new has already come. So you will all the time be chasing that now, and the world is not stopping to wait for you to change. So AI is here. They are not taking up the jobs. I don't think I want to look at it that way. They are not taking over the jobs. What we should do is to see what is it that we can do. You see that now that AI is here, what is our role? What is it that is going to engage us so that we remain active even when there is AI, is it? And that is where the industries, our industries can also move many steps forward to see how do they embrace these things and make them positively used by the youth. And I had mentioned to you that, you know, universities and faculty, which we are agents of change. The moment the AI comes in, I don't know when you came here, but before, when I came here, we were writing on the blackboard with chalks, isn't it? Then we went through that transition. We moved from the blackboards to
whiteboards?
Not to whiteboard. There was this thing, I can't remember, the slides. There were the slides that we were using. You write on them or you type something on them and then you use. Then the whiteboard came. Today we are on something else.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we really must be able to grow with the change. But if you're not growing with the changes as they come, then definitely you are living in denial. Yes.
You have traversed different countries. What would you consider to be the major challenge of Africa, especially Kenya, when it comes to managing their talents and embracing new changes?
Put it this way, managing the resources. Yes, talent is a resource. And the management, generally the management of resources is not forecast. It's not directed, allow me to say, for the development of the youths in preparation for takeover. Yes. And that is perfect in those other countries that I've seen.
How can we move towards solving that challenge?
Number one is to stop living in denial so that we can accept and embrace change. Yes. That we know where we want our world to go, and we don't wait for someone to do it for us. We get involved in doing it ourselves. Then we can move on. Yes.
Kenyans are believed to be doing well in other countries when it comes to businesses, generally entrepreneurship, than in their own country.
Yes.
Why do you think that is the case?
System. Yes. When you are operating in a system that works, then things will move. So I think there must be some clear path or in the system so that we know when Frederick is starting a business, he has a purpose for it, and the system should be able to support Frederick in doing the business and attracting appropriate and adequate customers. Yes. And that would begin from the point of the registration. Again, one thing for us, including myself, when I want to do business, I want to go under first. You know that if you start the business in a straightforward manner, then the business will move. don't run away. Don't run away from the regulatory factors. Just follow them, and your path will be well. So partly we don't do well in business because we are hiding our businesses. Yes, we are hiding our
Okay.
business.
So as would you consider this as part of your recommendations in the research as a global entrepreneurship talent management hub? Would you consider to bring such proposals to the government so that they can also streamline these spaces, so that we can avoid this narrative of our resources, our talents can only grow well in other countries and not in our own countries because of policies, because of regulations, because of systems, as you have mentioned?
That is definitely part of it, because we are saying we want things to be done differently. Universities carry a lot of load in doing research. The question is whether the recommendations of those researchers are being applied. But all the researches that are done by universities, they have very nice recommendations and very well directed to who is supposed to do that. So anyone who is keen on what is going on definitely would recommend the streamlining of the systems so that the businesses can run. The struggle is that the youth are not entering their space at the correct time. And even if they do, they still will find barriers. And that is what the problem is. So my answer would be yes. That is what we are going to recommend. But already they're there. So the recommendations that we're going to make will only support what is already in existence. Yes.
So what is the plan of global entrepreneurship talent management project? What is the future of it beyond 2027? Because I understand it is on a 3-year basis or 4-year basis.
The one we are in is ending in 2027, October. Right now, part of the activities that are going to go on in Warsaw is to review the project. That is one, the big agenda that we are going for is the review, it's the midterm review of the project. And in the midterm review of the project, we're going to check the progress. Is it moving towards achieving its goals? Is it having adequate funding? And so at the end of this project, there is going to be another meeting for the GETMA 4 to review now the outcome of the project and make proposal on whether there is going to be a GETMA 4-5. Yes.
Okay, now there's a possibility of its renewal or something like that.
Yes.
But now, how do you get policymakers, stakeholders, all these people? How do you get them to be part of the GET-M4 program and be beneficiaries of it? How do you get them to be part of it?
All these things, they begin from papers, applications, proposals. The starting point of a project is to do a proposal which should be accepted, and not just for funding, it must also be accepted for the general society for it to go on. This, after the proposal, there is funding. So this project is an EU-funded project, and the UK government funded. So those are policymakers. The funders are government officials, and they are policy makers. So for us as agents, we are carrying the research and then eventually doing the policy briefs through papers. And so it is those policy briefs that now are to be used by the policy makers to pick what they can work with on the immediate, what they can work with in the long run. Of course, they cannot happen all at the same time, so they start. Yes, they go stage by stage, but they are properly involved. The policymakers are properly involved.
Now, as we bring this home, what would be your last words to the upcoming researchers, the policymakers, and the world at large concerning the Global Entrepreneurship Talent Management Training Program?
I would suggest that researchers, of course, you start from home, where you are, like the Kenyatta University. But there is one key thing, or some two things that are critical. You cannot work alone. You have to get networks. You have to connect yourself, and that's why the universities are coming together. You know, they want to appreciate one another. They want to see the ability of the universities, the different universities, and see if they can form a synergy out of that. And that is what I think the upcoming researchers should do. Let them start home, but find some networks, form collaborations, and out of the collaborations, they will find partnerships. And in that way, ideas will be exchanged. Use of resources will be enhanced. Those who are now, like those who are working with us, definitely, they're already having something. I've told you we are not going alone. We are going with, we'll keep going with students, isn't it? And universities and the young researchers in the faculty also. That is already creating networks for them. And you can't work alone. Where will you get the information from? No, you need to have networks, you need to have collaborations, and you need to have partnerships.
After this review that you are going for,
yes,
what are the steps that are expected? What are the next steps that are expected before it comes to 2027?
No, this part is continuing. For now, we are going to review and see if there are areas which can be adjusted. It's not going to stop, only to see where areas where we need some improvement, areas where we need some additional funding, some things like that. Okay, but the main decision about the project will come at the end when it is closed.
When it is concluded.
Yes.
Okay, that is very much in order. Now that brings us to the end of our discussion. I would like you to give your final remarks to our viewers back at home.
Thank you very much. Let me now say my full name. I am Frederick Ndede. I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Accounting and Finance in the School of Business, Economics, and Tourism. That is where I am housed. And I would want to put some feelings on the viewers out there that research is a key issue in success, and research needs to be supported locally, regionally, and internationally. So anybody who has a project or a research proposal to be supported, it is important that we create some resources. I'm using the word resources, not funds. Create some resources that can support that research project. I'm saying resources because even in an office, this is a resource where we are now. It's a resource. We need this studio to give the information to the viewers there. So we need to create some support, resources to support the project whenever it comes out. But it is important to work on research.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
now, this has been on the launch with Dr. Frederick Nede, and it's a pleasure to have him on board. I had promised you before we began the show that this is going to be a conversation that helps you reshape how you think about entrepreneurship. And just as you've heard, there is something called respectful impact, where you appreciate every culture, the diverse cultures, and the global entrepreneurship talent management program, that is GETM4, that is the phase 4, is one of the projects that helps you address that, the global issues, the global challenges, that is from climate, from COVID-19 pandemic that led to most people losing their jobs. So you can also be part of the research program just by joining Kenyatta University, and it's always open. If not that, you can always join, you can always get to Chandaria Innovation Center, that is at Kenyatta University, also for projects and research management. That has been on the launch. Coming up next is newspaper review, and you can't miss that. See you after the break.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu, pepo pani idea.
Sazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, hiyo inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Dunia ni Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimweli.
Naam, ungana nami Malkia wa Taarab katika mitindo ya kipwani hapa KUTV. Yaani tunapozungumzia mitindo ya kipwani basi unaona napigwa na mawimbi makali sana ya baharini kutoka katika ufuo wa hoteli moja inayofahamika kama North Coast Beach Hotel, ambao ndio wadhamini wa kipindi hiki cha mitindo ya kipwani. Penzi mtazamaji, kwenye mitindo ya kipwani hutakosa kupata mapishi ya vyakula vya kipwani. Yaani hapa tunazungumzia vyakula vilivyokolezwa na kukorombezwa. Iliki, karafuu, abdalasini, samaki wa baharini, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kusukwa kwa kutumia nazi. Bila kusahau mazungumzo ya moja kwa moja, mazungumzo ya kusisimua na wataalam tofauti, waandishi wa vitabu waliobobea, watunzi wa kuhani mashairi. Bila kusahau mpenzi mtazamaji, taratibu zetu za taarabu na chakacha. Yaani pale ni pale ambapo viuno vya wanawake vinazungushwa kisawasawa kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya Kutv mitindo ya kipwani. Ukiwa nami na hodha wako Waridi Tamu. Usiyakose matamu jamani.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses and we wait until we get a disease and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins such as folate have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kemuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
So my name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the CAFE project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Eva Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Welcome back. Now we are done with the youth empowerment. That is a discussion with the Global Entrepreneur Talent Management Phase 4, that is GETM4, a discussion that focuses on helping you understand how research impacts the society in terms of entrepreneurship and developing respectful impact, that is by acknowledging different cultures and how they affect us as a people. And right now in studio, I'm joined by Ojwang Mariam and Gakpo Faith, who are very, 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 should I say, determined, or youths who have zeal to lead, youths who have zeal to bring a change in the society, both in the political space, in the mental, into mental health space. And before I shower them with all these praises, I would like them to introduce themselves. I'll begin with you, Faith. Karibu sana to our studios. Thank you for making time.
Thank you so much for having me here. And they say men before, but I will go first because ladies first. Yeah, my name is Faith Gakpo. I'm a student at JQuat. I'm a mental health advocate, and in the spirit of mental health advocacy, I'm founder and director of It's Me, Myself, and I initiative. I'm also a student there in JKUAT. I lead in different dimensions, and I'm an acting finance secretary in Society of Industry and Applied Mathematics, and I'm also the chair lady, Jubilee Party of Kenya, JKUAT chapter. Yeah. Thank you.
That is quite an introduction. You see those introductions that you hear and you're like, okay. Okay.
Mpaka imenikumbusha who am I?
Who are you?
Asante sana Sylvia. Mimi watu wananijua. But niko na profile saa hii ya Shining Hope for Communities, Shofco Youth Leader Kahawa West. Uko ndo tuna make sure. Sasa unajua tuliishi kuambia watu we can do so much in empowering our community. Mimi niliishi kuambia wase, guys, I know I can help here, I know I can connect here. But unapata hakuna mtu anataka kutrust hiyo. Now God ye huwa halali. Shofco wenye wako na headquarter in New York na ingine hapa Kibera through Dr. Kennedy Odede waliweza kunisport, and that has been the best thing that has happened to my community. I'm grateful. Asante.
It's a good thing. I'm also joining Shofco.
Shining hope.
Shining hope to the society. Now, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I had someone say, ladies, and I don't remember that, but it was on a show of reggae. But let's not talk about that. This morning, I want us to be serious, to be serious youths driving change in the country. And now, on the newspapers, let's begin today with should we? No, not Standard. Standard has been even accused by the ODM party of spreading rumors about them. So today, let's begin with the Daily Nation. And the biggest headline they are having, I'm beginning with this because it matters business, matters money. You know, money first.
Biashara.
So Ruto's office gets 2.3 billion for first lift. And it continues saying that Kenyan taxpayers will pay billions of shillings to upgrade President William Ruto's offices in the new budget, whose implementation begins on July 1st, 2025, making it one of only few state agencies to enjoy increased cash allocations. Before Juang, you jump on me, the budget is also having increased allocation on the education sector, military, aviation, and police. Those are among the biggest winners of the 4.2 trillion budget, and that means that the teacher service can employ more teachers. You need to understand. The teacher service can employ more teachers. The police officers who have been complaining so much, even when the Gen Zs were on the streets, they were telling the officers, wewe unataka kunishoot na natetea haki yako.
Niona nguo yako imeraruka.
Finally, the government is having more locations on their department, that is the military and the police service and the education. These are the biggest beneficiaries. Ojwang, I'll begin with you. Have you read or have you gone through the 2025-2026 budget?
The proposed budget.
Yes.
The proposed budget ikona truths that are half. Ikona vitu tuliona pre-2022. Pre-2022, we were fed on a hustler idea whereby we will have houses built for us by the government and then we buy them affordably. That is a good thing. What they did not tell the Kenyans is, hizi pesa tutakuwa tunatoa wapi? So washaingia kwa gava na ikafika ile nyumba tulisema tuna nini, ni wewe 3%, wewe 3%, wewe 3%, tuwajengee nyumba. Tukishamaliza kuwajengea nyumba ununue. Ukishindwa kununua, hiyo ni shida yako, blame aje. Yet you have been contributing to this kit ya wewe upate affordable housing 3%. Asa Wakenya wakasema hapana. But sasa hizi tuko kwa the same things. Hiyo ya facelift, how much? 2.3 for state billion for state house facelift yenye saa hii juzi imetoka kwa facelift ingine wakasema hiki nyumba kinakaa hivi, kinakaa wakoloni. Can we do a flat roof mahali hata hivi sniper akilala hamuoni? That was at the height of your time ya maandamano 2024. Sasa hii nataka kuniambia all of a sudden State House imeparara. Lazima iongezewe mabilioni, acha tuite mabilioni. Mabilioni ya pesa for facelift. Sasa hiyo tunafanya hivyo kuongeza facelift hapa hivi, hakuna barabara kwa community. Affordable housing. Nataka saa hizi sisi ni wanahabari. Ingia kwa ground. Nipe stories za watu wenye washapata affordable housing zao. 2 years. Hata si 2 years. Almost 3 years since when this started. Kuna time walisema the housing levy has to be backdated. Mahakama imesema leo August ndio tunaanza hii shughuli. Na government of Kenya inasema hapana, hiyo ni mahakama. Sisi tulitaka tu wahalalishe. Wakisha halalisha, sisi tunaingia mpaka July tunaanza kucollect. How long does it take you to build one flat wewe ukiwa peke yako? Haiwezi kukutake all those years. Sure. Saa hiyo every year we are contributing to this kitty we are calling housing levy. So saa hizi tumeambiwa KDF wanaongezewa pesa, si ndio? It's a very good thing. But wanaongezewa pesa wafanye nini exactly? Polisi wanaongezewa pesa. Zinatoka wapi? We need to be telling Kenyans whole truth that sisi kama government tunapanga kutoa pesa hapa, tuweke hapa hivi kwa KDF, na hawa KDF tumewaambia kazi yao ni kulinda nchi, sio kupiga politics, so hamtaona wakifanya hivyo tena. Tumechukua pesa zingine tuweke kwa walimu, ndio tuajiri walimu zaidi, na hapo hivyo bado kwa walimu usisahau wamepoliticize to a point. Unaona vile prefect alikuwa anachukua noise makers, anachukua hiyo list anaekelea hivi. Saa hii wewe kama unataka kazi ya mwalimu unapitia kwa mbunge anakuandika list hapo hivyo, alafu anatokea kwa committee na anasema hawa nitawaandikisha. Why are you doing that? Na sote tuko kazi. Haya, pesa zingine zinatolewa, zinawekwa kwa kitu kingine, lakini hatuambiwi zinatoka wapi. Then si tutakubali tuseme hii kitu iko sawa sote, si ndio? Tuseme hapana, hapa kwa facelift toa hiyo, punguza. Hapa pengine iko sawa. Vile wanaambia watu stories za NGCDF zingie kwa constituency. But hawasemi zikiingia tutatoa bursaries zirudi kwa consolidated fund ya Ministry of Education. Saa hizi gavo utasikia wakisema si tumesema hatutakopa sana ama hamtaki tukope. Ni sawa basi. Nyinyi tuwanyonye. But Mbadi knows that will make us go wild again. Juu kuna mahali ukipress lazima ita collapse due to pressure.
And it's not just on taxation, because the government is resolving to do internal borrowing, and that means that the common mwananchi will probably be competing with the government in getting loans.
Hapo ndio naingia. Si hizi pesa zote si tushakubali tunataka gava ipeleke hapa, si ndio? But gava haina na hajatuambia plan ya kuzipata. Bado sisi ndio watarudia waseme hapana tumefanya hivi na hivi na hivi. Hiyo ndio kuibiwa. Tuna lose the whole aspect of what Kenya is. I think people don't understand what Kenya is. Ile siku wa Kenya wataelewa Kenya ni nini, kila mtu atakuwa akiishi in a fair way. Because if in our country everything was put at a fair way, wewe ungekuwa na same opportunity kama Faith hapa hivi, kama mimi, kama hawa wengine wote, favorably. So that si tulisema masomo ni ya bure, then why is it still inaccessible? Or why is it that I still can't afford your education? Hii Kenya ni communities. Nyinyi kama Waluo, nyinyi kama Wakikuyu, mnakutana mnasema ndo tusirejeshwe mahali mkoloni alituweka. Can we agree tushikane mkono tukuwe na a consolidated fund, tuite republic? Wewe uko unachanga kitu kadogo, wewe unachanga kitu kadogo, na mimi nachanga, tunaweka hapo. Then amongst ourselves tutafute watu wa kuenda kutulindia hizi pesa. Anafaa afanye nini na hizi pesa? Hizi pesa anafaa akuje ajenge barabara hapo, ndo wewe uendelee na biashara yako in a very easy way. Hizi pesa wajenge hospitali hapa, ndo wewe ukigonjeka hapo kwa community utibiwe juu ni pesa zako. We don't do that nowadays. Politics is about one person. Kama saizi utapata, we are making everything about Ruto. Because Ruto amekuwa kama serpent. Yeye si president, ni serpent. If you are president, you are supposed to know we ni chairman wetu. Sisi ni members kwa hii country. It's a republic, for goodness sake. Tell us the truth. Pesa tumeweka hapa, tumetoa hapa, ama tutatoa hapa. Wacha uone vile kutawaka June.
Okay, now that is Ojwang. So according to Ojwang, this is when someone is telling you the truth, but they're telling you half truth. Like they've not lied.
Fattening the bull. They are fattening you.
Okay, so that
unaona venye unaambiaga mtu wase nimekuwekea 2, nimekuwekea 3. Ujamaa amekusetia mahali kijoka. Hiyo ndo anataka kutudropia sasa juu natuambia mlikubali. Haya tunatoa wapi hizi dogo guys.
Okay, so for you it is a half truth narrative. Let me come back to you, Faith. Have you gone through the budget itself?
Yeah, I've gone through the budget itself.
And do you consider, do you believe that the government or the president or the treasury is living up to the president's word of living within our means, cutting on unnecessary spending? Do you think that is part of the budget, of the proposed budget?
Actually, allow me to say this. Na feel kama wanataka kutuambia kenye tunataka kusikia. You get it? Like these people, they know what we need to hear, and that's wanataki turudi kwa street tena. Actually, I will second Ojwang. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you would second Ojwang. Ojwang is saying that they're giving us half truths. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, half
truths.
truths.
Why do you think so?
Let me go back now to the housing levy issue. You see, once you have, like, if they wanted to be accountable, they could have started with one flat. They show us, after we have finished this one flat, this is how we will give it to you. Then now they continue with the rest. Actually, I was visiting around and I saw all the flats of housing levy, they have reached the same points, like painting, because they don't want to tell us the whole truth. They are giving us half. You see? Actually, in this, the finance bill, I haven't gone deep to it because I know once I go deep to it, I feel like I will inject more to people. Now I'm going little by little, analyzing, and at least I get now to, because I wanted to use it for civic education to educate some people and the community. I'm going deep to it. I actually have not gone far. Yeah. But they are giving us half of what we want.
From where you sit right now, do you think the government is implementing the live within our means proposal or narrative? And do you think the government is really cutting on unnecessary expenditure, going by this headline of the Daily Nation?
No. Actually, after I saw the headline, I was like, lavish facelift or national priorities. I was like, what's going on? And then they got me here when they said education, military, and I was like, oh yeah, the insecurities are rising, because if you see, if an MP can be assassinated, what about us, the local mwananchi? I was like, okay, now you're coming to my side, but actually, no, because they are not telling us where is this money coming from. How are we going to now give it to education, military, aviation, and police? Who will be accountable? How? And even they haven't asked us. They are saying what we want to hear because they know we are crying about the education system. The issues about the funds in the education system, the issues of funds in matters of security. You see, they haven't asked us about it. They haven't told us how they will get this money. How they will implement the allocations. You see, actually it's a no for me.
You know, the government never tells you directly that this is how we're going to get it, but it will tell you that, you know, we are not going to borrow externally, but we are going to get grants for you from UAE. It will also tell you that we are not going to get loans, but we will do local borrowing, you know. but they're not telling you that, when we do that, your loans will be expensive. They'll also tell you that I don't want to side with you because here I'm supposed to be neutral. Now, Ojwang, from where you sit, do you think that the government is living to the words of living within our means?
Wesi unajua mimi uongea ukweli, siwezi danganyana. The current regime ina live a more lavish life than the previous one. Yet, in terms of economy, we are doing worse than we were doing before 2022. Before 2022, we had come from a global pandemic. But tulikuwa tuko able kusurvive. Unajua watu walikuwa wanalia sana, unga umefika 200 and something. But sisahau bado the staple food of our country ni ugali bado. So watu walikuwa wanaweza unangangana kwako kunuke kitunguu na kukuwe na unga. Saizi unga wanasema ni 160, lakini bado haupati. If unga ni 215 kwa budget yangu, na unga saizi regime imefanya ukuwe 160, then nafaa kuwa nikiwa na 215, niko na mafuta, niko na sukuma na niko na Royco cube. Kwa Mkenya mwenye anatoka ghetto, it's still hard. Tunasema dola imeshuka, haijawahi shuka hivyo vyote. Hadi tunasema iko fiti. Lakini bado dola ikiwa imeshuka hivyo, kwako vitu ni more expensive. Aje sasa kama si kuishi tunaishi kwa uongo. Hakuna austerity kwa hapo hivyo. Wao wanataka wajitajirishe zaidi. Uko na state house, umefanya all these renovations, and then umeenda umeongeza watu kutoka ODM umewaeka hapo hivyo wakusaidie kuimba the same thing, and the first thing you can cry about is facelift. How is that living within your means? Hata wasichana huku nje hatushindi tukinunua makeup zao, wewe unataka it's an office, guys. Can you do your 9 to 5? Ukishamalizana na state house, kama unataka nyumba mzuri, unaingia Sugoi, unalala, kesho unaamkia hii ofisi.
Okay, you mentioned something about the economy, and still we are talking about the president's words against him. So earlier, when he was coming in office, that was around 2022, the president is on record of saying he will reduce the number of state advisors and all that. But as we speak at the moment, the Standard is saying that the burden of advisors, gobbling over 1 billion annually in salaries and office cost, President Ruto's growing team of 20 advisors is a heavy burden on taxpayers. Despite their impressive CVs, many fail to offer tangible benefits to Kenyans, with their roles overlapping those of cabinet secretaries, leaving the country questioning their usefulness. So apparently in this country, if you are loud enough, if you're influential enough, the government finds job for you.
Alai.
So because
enough. At what point?
It's not my words. The Standard says despite their impressive CVs, that means they have qualifications. And most of these people you're seeing here are economic advisors, Council of Economic Advisors to the President. There's Council of Economic Advisors is 1, 2, Economic Empowerment, that is related still on the same, that is 3, and Chairperson of Economic Advisors, that is 4. And then we have National Security Advisor to the President. Now we have these 4 people who are supposed to be advising the President on the economy. Let me begin with you, Faith. This is a broad one. I will ask you, do you think that the advisors are doing their work diligently, or this is just a waste of taxpayers' money?
This is a waste of taxpayers' money. Actually, let's do it like this. A country is like a company. Like a CEO having a lot of advisors and no product, like no increment of product, nothing, no positive impact. It's not making sense, actually. What I can say is, the higher the number of advisor, the higher the salary. Like once you add an advisor, that's another budget. You need to pay that person, allowances, everything. Actually, this country is not living like for the people. It's for themselves. And the moment, the fact that it's not using the merits to give these advisors the work, it means that those advisors won't deliver what they are supposed to deliver. This matters of rewarding loyalty and everything makes me say that this burden of adding advisors is not appropriate, actually.
It's not.
I'm not
tell you,
in
it's
for
not
it.
meaning.
It's not meaning.
Okay, from where you sit, Ojwang, do you consider having more advisors in the country a burden, or is the president strategic on improving our country's economic well-being?
Mi hata nimeshangaa the Standard Media Group bado haijafungwa. Nilikuwa nimesikia KTN inafungwa. There's something about slogans. And the Standard call theirs Kenya's bold newspaper. And they tend to tell the nation that we set standards. If such kind of people who have been in business for all that time are calling this burden of advisors, mimi kijana mdogo, mbona niseme hii si burden? Now, ukiangalia hii picha vizuri, unajua for the virtue of kuwa low vision lazima niangalie closer. I'm seeing President Ruto and a lot of zeros. One looks like a crown, but it's a zero. And other zeros, kuna ya David Ndii, hata yeye ameekelewa hapo hivyo. Na yeye ndio chairperson of President's Council of Economic Advisors. Wachana hao wengine wa kukuja. Let's talk about him. He has always been parading himself as one of the strategic economic planners we have in this country. But since they took over this regime, the economy of our country has been doing the worst. Watu wengine kama Monica Juma, au tunajua kitu wanafanya hapo hivyo. Hii ingine ni kureward loyalty pekee. Because President Ruto is on record akisema AG mwenye alifaa kuwa legal advisor wa government hakuwa anafanya kazi yake. And that AG mwenye alitoka na yeye anasema huyu rais wenyu hatusikizagi. Nani mwingine make same complaints? The CX tutamuitaje? Huyo DP mwingine Rigathi Gachagua. Former aje na bado akona kesi kotini yenye inasema kutolewa kwake was against the constitution. Hatujui ni nini.
Okay,
Impeached, tutumie hiyo. Juu bado he stands impeached, si ndio? So the impeached deputy president pia yeye anasema rais wenyu asikizagi. So the president venye Faith alikuwa amesema they are telling us what they want us to hear. Amesema si mmesema sisikizi. Wacheni niongeze watu wa kusikiza. Amekishapewa watu wa kusikiza, amewaweka bado mnasema hapana. Hao na wao ni wengi. Sasa Ruto anakaa chini anauliza, what do you want me to do, guys?
Kenyans are saying ni wengi because
ni wengi
at
na
the
pesa ni
level,
nyingi. Hata usiangalie wingi wa watu. All this money zinarushwa kwa advisors. Kwani wewe tulikuchagua kama una akili? Because tulikuchagua, mimi sikuchagua. Watu ambao walichagua Rais Ruto walimchagua because of the belief that one, he comes from God. Hivyo ndivyo kanisa ilituuzia. Two, he is a hustler. Wewe kama hustler tunakuaminia kwa nini? Every Sunday uko newsroom. Every Monday usiku uko newsroom. Every Tuesday asubuhi uko newsroom. Saa hizi uko nominated emerging female media personality of the year. Tunaona kazi, tunaona results. Yake hatuoni. Tunaongeza tu advisors. Yet tulikuwa, yes alikuwa hustler. Tulikuwa tumemwaminia that akiweka Bible chini vitu zitachange. Saizi zimeshindwa, na badala afanye the honorable thing ya kuondoka mwingine mwenye naweza akuje, tunamuongezea advisors. Advisors wenye tunampelekea, wa kwanza wenye alipelekewa tujaona change. Saa hizi advisors wameongezeka, tumetoa mpaka kwa familia ya Oburu Odinga. Na tukasema Jaoko Oburu, yeye ndiye atakuwa Economic Empowerment and Sustainable Livelihood Special Advisor.
I think we should be given their job descriptions, not just their titles, because just
hakuna job description hapa, hakuna job, ni karatasi tu, pesa ziingiage kwa account yako per month.
Big names. Talking about pesa,
what about
at the cabinet
Sylvia?
level,
I have
just a minute.
Okay.
At the cabinet level, we have 3 advisors at the cabinet level. CS gross monthly salary according to SRC is 977,000 Kenyan shillings. The total amount 3 advisors take home is 2,871,000 monthly. So yearly it is 34,452,000 annually. So the presidential advisors earn 196,138,116. But yeah, those are figures. Those are not just numbers. Those are salaries. And at the principal level advisors, we have 17 advisors. And principal secretary gross salary according to SSC is 972,000 Kenyan shillings 519. Total salary for 17 individuals is 3.4 million monthly, and yearly it is 161,686,116. So their salaries is in million, and these are advisors. We have not talked about the salaries of principal secretaries of different departments. We have not talked about the salaries of cabinet secretaries. So these are not things we have talked about. We've not talked about their allowances and all that. So truly speaking, it is like the taxpayers' money. The first budget is of salaries. We've not talked about the salaries of members of parliament and all that, and the increase and all that. So it's about the first salary that it's think of during this budget making process is from the top, and then ikibaki ndo maybe mtapata wewe ukiana 30,000, maybe ikibaki, maybe you'll get it. You had something for us.
Yeah, I had something. Like, you see, Ojwang had earlier said, we don't know what is Kenya. Ni kama hatujui Kenya ni nini. Actually, I was in for the idea, maybe Kenya, we have another dictionary. Maybe there is, the advisor means something else. Maybe hapo kuongeza advisor kuna, it has a meaning that we don't know. You see? Because hiyo kuongeza advisor each and every time, maybe the word advisor in Kenyan dictionary means something else. Now we need to know what's the meaning of this advisor. Kwa pakiandiko hapo and an advisor is someone according to Kenyan dictionary. Yeah, maybe tuna complain, na maybe
there is another meaning.
Imagine for the last, let's say, a year, we have been advising President Ruto on every newspaper review. Na ni kama hajawahi sikia.
You're not presidential advisors.
But we are saying this is Kenya. Kenya. We are community and partakers of Kenya. Wewe ni chairman too. I should be able to advise you. You are just a president. Mbona tunafanya ikaeka president ni king? Unajua saa hizi a community in this country wanaweza sema sisi hatutaki kuwa part of Kenya.
Washawahi sema.
Wapwani washawahi. Si ndio? Because ni watu walikutana wakaweka mutual agreement, vile mnapatanaga na chali mnasema tunaweza ishi pamoja, ndo tukuwe na shared interest. But wewe unaniambia sisi tuchange do kwa hii consolidated fund, wewe upeane hizo mamilioni zote kwa ma-advisors zenye zitabaki utupee sisi. Mbona nachanga unipee mabaki mimi aje? So if Kenyans got to understand what Kenya is, they would love it more. They would have more boldness to fight for their space and their rights. They would not need former president, the only former president we have, to go even to other countries, just to motivate us to fight for our country. We are living in colonization, but wazungu weusi.
Okay, now let's end the discussion about the budget and the finance bill at that point, and take a look at a little bit of politics of the country. And that's the focus is on the Star. The biggest headline on the Star this morning is besieged leader will Wipers Kalonzo accept to play second fiddle to Matiang'i, and will Mount Kenya agree to miss both presidency and running mate? Just to put this into context, the Star also has there why president may be forced to revisit deal with Kindiki. I want just to have all this put together. And also they're having a quote, Matiang'i, often referred to as Mr. Fix-It, and the previous regime is increasingly viewed as the most formidable threat to Kalonzo's presidential ambitions. So, there's a women leader in Migori, jana. Alisema, niliona mwanamke mmoja na wanawake watano.
Waachane rais wa kuja pambaye na mimi. Hata mimi nishanga huyu mwanamke mmoja na wanawake wengine.
Ni wagani hao?
Kwa tunaishi nchi gani?
So apparently, these 5 leaders or 6 leaders to say, everyone wants to be the president.
Yeah.
Martha Karua wants to be president. Kalonzo Musyoka wants to be president. You know, all of them want to be president. Hata Salasi amesema anataka kuwa president. Actually, ameanza campaign. So we have everyone in the country wanting to be the president. And now the Star is asking, will Wipers Kalonzo accept to play second fiddle to Matiang'i? And will the Mount Kenya agree to miss both presidency and running mate? And I'm adding the third question. Is the president, should the president be worried about his grip to the Mount Kenya region, considering this rising opposition? Let me begin with you, John.
I wouldn't talk about shoe game.
We will.
But it's still a game. Now, sisi tumesema sisi ni wa Kenya. Si ndio? So, inamata wewe kusema mwenye unataka akuwe president na akuwe deputy president. Mimi pangu, hakuna mahali hadi nimesema ningetaka Wiper watusaidie kuwipe out Ruto by wao kukuwa deputy president ama hata president. Education has changed this country. And it's a good thing. All of us, kila mtu anakuaga amezaliwa kama kiongozi. The environment you grow in changes that positively or negatively. So, napata wewe Sylvia, ungezaliwa Mount Kenya, your language would have been different, your name would have been different, but wewe bado ni wewe. Sindio? It matters. Mimi hata hakuna mahali ati nitasimama niseme Kalonzo for president ama Kalonzo for deputy president. I've always been clear. Kwanza kwa issue ya deputy president, we must have a youth. Wale ambao watapea youth ama the coalition itapea youth, that seat ya deputy president will win. And Ruto wants to use that to get back in power. Hao wengine wanafaa wakae chini, wakubaliane, waseme huyu akuwe president, huyu akuwe deputy. Na si mzee, deputy afai kuwa mzee. It's no longer even about gender. We've realized that. They are using gender to lie to us. So in 2022, they lied to us that the presidential candidate who will have a woman by the side atashinda. The Roots Party, Wajakoya's team, went for brains that even we interviewed here. But hakushinda. Baba alisema ni baba na Martha. Slogan moja kali. But hakushinda. Because Kenyans are liars. We are a community. Hakuna ati yo President Ruto ni muongo, hata wewe ni muongo. If we change, tuache kupiga watu, tuanze kuongelelea agendas and issues affecting us, we will have a presidential candidate, we will have a running mate, and we will be able then to bring this country together. Na ielekee kwenye inafaa kuelekea. But Kalonzo, no. Na sisi pia vijana, tunafaa, acha kwanza tuongeleshe vijana. Vijana tunafaa kuwa flexible. Education imetu empower, everyone is a leader. Do you know what mimi ningetaka maybe kukuwa president, but najua sina financial muscles za kupull hiyo campaign. So kila mtu akipata do naendea presidency. It's a good thing. Juu itafika mahali our civilization itakuwa imepanda inakaa US. Ukachukua kama mtu kamoja US ukuje ukarusha hapa hivi ukaweka kiti ya mbunge. Your constitution ita change. Why? Na yeye ni binadamu kama wewe, and we are all equal before God. So sisi kama vijana tuache kupiga hawa wazee. Wacha waungane. We need everyone. We need everyone. Na tusipofanya hivyo bado Ruto atapitia katikati. He is the same guy who was in a team ya YK92 in the year 1992 at a time when the then president went to the National Assembly na akasema alisema kwanza na Kiswahili, tunaondoa section 2A ndo watu waingie kukuwe na multiparty. Hapo ndo multiparty ilikuja. So by then nituseme kama ilikuwa UDA pekee, akaweka parties zote na bado akashinda. He was there then. He was a youth. Wewe si unasemaga una grow, unaongeza maarifa, si ndio? Yeye ameongeza maarifa na ameongeza pesa. Times change and you cannot teach old dogs new tricks, si ndio? We are the new ones. Why do we want to use the old tricks zenye walitumia? Na yeye jua hizi jua zetu, then si tuungane tu, tupendane.
So according to you, whoever will be the president, it's none of their business as long as the deputy president is a youth.
Na si Ruto, si whoever, usitumie whoever. Si whoever. Kwa watu wote wenye wamesema wanataka kiti saa hii. Sawa? Si wanasema Kasongo must go. So ni anyone apart from him.
Okay.
Then tuanze kupanga nchi.
Okay, now let's come back to you, Faith. Do you consider this something that should be a conversation in the country, whether Matiang'i or whoever it is holds the second place in power, or if Ruto is losing his grip in the mountain? Do you consider that to be something that we should be talking about as a country?
Yeah, sure. It's something we should be talking about. And you see, the mission is one. We are saying one term unstoppable. Like, if this president, our president, should only rule for this one term, and the next term, we are getting another new president. Now, in opposition, in politics, we say an organized minority is a political majority. Once the oppositions become organized, and whoever will deputize whoever will be the presidential candidate for the opposition, I propose he or she to be a youth at least, because we are not here just for formality. We need to take part. We need to be there. Actually, and as a member of Jubilee, I will say that Matiang'i is a plan that will
start. Jubilee? There are two factions of Jubilee. Which Jubilee? The Kioni Jubilee or the Sabina Jubilee?
The Kioni's Jubilee. Oh. And we are saying that, and we are emphasizing that Matiang'i is a plan whose time has come. And we believe that once the opposition, once we are organized, and Kalonzo, Honorable Kalonzo, accept, or whoever he or she will be selected, accept to deputize, and God willing, coming the 2027 election, we have at least two positions. Like, we have two people in that ballot for presidential position. Actually, we will the one term will be unstoppable. No matter the conversation, no matter what, whoever will deputize the opposition candidate should be a youth, because we are not here just for formality. We need to participate. Yeah, I guess, yeah, they are there. We need them because they are wise, they have the experience, but they need to absorb us there. That's what we are demanding as youth.
So according to you, you should involve youths in this thing.
Yeah.
We are not here to be seen.
Yeah.
We are not here. We are here to be heard.
To be used also. You know, we can be also used. Hii niko na my youths, wacha tuweke hii, because we as youths, we want to be there. After that, we have seen it's a norm. Mkifika pale mnasaulika. It continues. We need to be there to participate and to be in the front line.
Very big words there. to be in the front line. Now, before we conclude, this will serve as we bring this to an end. There is this story, the shoe hauling incident, the shenanigans. Someone is telling me shenanigans. The things Kenyans wanna shuhudia. It is a conversation that, it has happened. I tweeted about several presidents who have experienced shoe throwing incidents, several prime ministers who have experienced shoe throwing incidents, and in all these incidents, it was out of rage, out of dissatisfaction with the way of governance, out of anger, that we don't want your kind of ruling. Your policies are, I almost cursed. Your policies are not good policies. So, and when this happened, one angle of the video, and that's how I love this current generation of technology. One angle of the video appeared to be someone throwing the shoe towards the president. And everyone, especially the people from opposition, everyone was saying that, the people are really angered, watu wamekasirika, ODM imeingia kwa serikali, lakini watu kwa ground wamekataa, all these stories. And then the second video comes out, and it's indication that someone was just recording, then someone akaipiga kwenda mbele. So we don't know whether it was an agreement. We don't know if it was an accident. And we have the Standard is saying 3 arrested in the probe into Migori shoe incident. And also the Daily Nation is saying Ruto security beefed up after shoe hauling in Migori County. Do you consider this, let me begin with you, Faith. Do you consider this a security threat and a failure by the security? Or do you agree with the new video that is emerging that this was just an accident?
Yeah, my first question is, before I agree, is why mbona security ndo wana question the security part rather than why was that mbona like hiyo kiatu ilitoka hapo ikakuja ikanigonga. You see, it's a matter of security, yes, I understand, and I condemn that act actually first, because it's not well. Like, we need to respect our president, we need to respect whoever is in power, and we need to respect, the respect is our two-way traffic, you see. Also, question yangu ni, hapa tunasema Ruto's security ime beef up after the shoe hauling incident, but that hiyo kiatu hata me actually naona kama ni accident. It's an accident according to the video I saw from the other dimension. You see that dimension yenye tunaona kiatu inaruka, but the dimension where the shoe was in a position where, you see, youth wetu wako so fun, we are so joyful, no matter irrespect, like hata hatai kujua how the situation is, we are just there for fun. Sasa mtu alichukua kiatu akaanza kuchukua kama kamera, then someone akairusha. But the question is, why are we questioning the security factor rather than hiyo kiatu ataka imetoka huko? It's better heri mawe uchukue urushe than kiatu. Kiatu shows that you have given on, hata hiyo kiatu by the way umework hard ukapata hiyo kiatu, hata kama imeisha umechukua ukairusha, mbona? Like the audacity or the mbona imetoka hapo? Maybe those are echoes of frustrations. Maybe security should not be the first factor we are considering here. Yeah, sure.
It should be the people. Is it because they are angry or
frustrated?
Should we blame the people for being jovial or
actually huyo mtu kwanza kama alishikwa ama those people, the suspects, they need to be given food, because kama alitumia the energy watu wajakula. You see the way the cost of living is so high, that energy yote ya kutoa hapo kurusha kiatu, those are the things we should be questioning, not only the security.
We should also remember that is it the communications person offered to buy the person smartphone.
Yeah.
Sure.
See communications person mwite a digital strategist.
Digital itumbi, yes.
Kwa history yote ya shoe na shuku hakuna accident. Ask me why. There was a time Kenyans were complaining that Faruk Kibet ako na kamera mahali hapa, si rais ako hapa hivi, ako hapa anapiga watu picha. Hiyo inakuaga ama walisema ni ya kumonitor security. So kwa hii nchi yenye watu wako talented hivi ni ma-actors, kuna mmoja amesema nataka ni trend TikTok, anainama, si president ako pale, ye anainama hapa, anatoa kiatu, anaweka hapa juu, anarecord hadi mimi ni jam. Si ndio? Kwa nini huyu kijana mwenye inasemekana alijama kagonga, si inasemekana kiatu kilikuwa hapa kagonga? Aligonga juu yeye alikuwa so interested na kuona President Ruto na kumsikiza, lakini kiatu
kinamzoea.
Have you seen the distance? Hata Mluya mwenye ameshika upusuma hivi aka nini, you need a lot of force. Kiatu juu ni light. Kiatu chenye tunaweza sema ni kizito, labda kile walikuwa naambiwa kivue na Mungu Musa. But hiki kiatu kingine you need force ndio ifike hapo, si ndio? Wewe si ni Mkenya na tunasema uko na njaa, mbona utumie force? Angefanya tu hivi yanguke chini. But it has been on the record people creating narratives. Kama fisi inataka kukula kondoo, unasemaga inanuka hii. Fisi akitaka kukula si wanawake. Lakini ni wanawake. Azini watoto wake. Anasemaga wananuka mbuzi, si ndio? Ama wananuka kondoo. It's the same thing here. So President Ruto anataka kuongeza security. How do we justify that? Aende arushiwe kiatu Migori.
That's a serious allegation.
Migori watu wanarusha viatu. Migori
is having a record.
Migori ni mawe. Migori ni mawe. So kani kiatu iko plant. Unaona? So I wouldn't dwell on that for long. Yeah, because at the band wakiulizwa shida iko wapi, watakwambia uliza nani? Wewe hatuna hicho kiatu. So saizi badala ya to discuss health, to discuss education, to discuss kiatu. Kwanza kiatu kiko na vumbi. As I conclude, please allow me nipeane some information hapa.
That will serve as your closing remark.
My closing remark, I'm not closing again. Watu wa Nairobi, jana nimetoka kwa meeting at the City Hall kwa ofisi ya director wa the Disaster and Risk Reduction Nairobi County. Na tulikuwa pia na viongozi hapo vijana na sub-county managers wa disaster management. And the plan is to give training for firefighting and first aid. So, Nairobi County wameweza kupartner na Red Cross ndo wapeleke watu wako interested na kusoma firefighting at the Kangundo Road Fire Station. Walikuwa wameniambia nitafuta watu 50. Nikaenda jana kwa hiyo meeting ndio niwaambie. Nilikuwa nimeenda ku state facts. Manze watu wamepita 50. Na sijui tuchukue nani tu nani. Akasema hapana, wewe kijana, kuna kierere ndio inakusumbua. So you cannot save everyone. So tunakuongezea 30. So wakaniambia we will have 80 going for the first cohort. And then from that cohort, we will have 80 going for the cohort. We will have 100 going for that cohort ya kwanza. Then second cohort, hivyo, according to sub-counties vile ziko. Na watu wa kwanza kubenefit of course, ni wako wenye natoka. So Roysambu constituency, they will be taking 20 people from each ward. Lakini, uenda unajilipia transport na lunch. Training ni whole day na hakuna kuenda na suti. Kwa nini? Theory ni 2 minutes, hiyo nyingine ni kutoka nje, mfanye drills za firefighting, hiyo nyingine ni kutoka nje, mfanye drills za first aid, ni interactive. So wanasema, vaa nguo unaweza ruka juu. Na hakuna limiti ya miaka. Kwa nini hakuna limiti ya miaka? Moto ukitokea hapa, nani uzima moto? Ni vijana ati sijui 18 to 24. Hapana, it's a community affair. Kila mtu, hata mtoto mwenye ako na nguvu ya kuchukua bucket huenda. So wanataka wa train hawa watu ufight na moto hapa hivi. Before zima moto ikuje, there is some first aid yenye imepeanwa. And then wakishamaliza kuwa train, they go back to governor. Waambie governor wa Nairobi, Hawa watu wanafanya kazi kama CHPs kwa community, na CHPs hupewa kakitu hata kama ni volunteers.
Okay.
Hawa watu work kama Green Army kwa community kusafisha, na Green Army hupewa kakitu hata hawa wape.
Okay.
Hiyo ndo after training. So watu wanaweza nitafuta.
Okay.
Social media Sinyojuang Mariam bado si change.
That is very much in order. Our time muda umeisha, but Faith, I'll give you less than a minute.
Less than a minute with this shoe issue.
No. Closing remarks.
Okay. Actually, I'm a mental health advocate, and this is the mental health month. And you know, in this shisha shoe, it's not working. Even mental health is not considered in that shoe thing. Now, if you are there and you are a mental health advocate, and if you have something about mental, either poem, either anything, either something that it's advocating for mental health, kindly send it to it's mmiorganization@gmail.com. Hapa tumekuwa na newspapers na sijaona hata moja ya mental health. Now we are coming up with a mental health based newspaper or focused newspaper, and we need those articles from you because it's us for the community and we are the community. Yeah, if you are there, kindly share with that, and the project is ongoing. Kindly usifungiwe nje. I'm Faith Gako. Follow me on all social medias account.
Okay, you said me, it's me, and I, myself. Okay, you said it's what? They can share the stories at?
It's MMI organization with S for snake @gmail.com. Yeah.
That is for coming up with a newspaper focused on mental health. Now that brings us to the end of newspaper review and the end of KUTV Biashara Tuesday this morning. Thank you so much for being with us for the last 2 hours, 30 minutes or so, and for taking part this discussion through listening. Until next time, it's bye from us.